All right, everyone. We are the Jira Life. This is Bill Wood, and we're here to talk about Team 25.
Welcome to the Jira Life, the place to find news, events, and interviews with the Atlassian community's movers and shakers. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life chose us. Thank you to Revyz for backing us up and making the Jira Life possible.
That was interesting.
Hey, it's the first time we're trying something new. We're kind of workshopping it.
We're doing skits next time, everybody. We already decided. We're skitting.
Yeah. They came up with the idea of adding a skit to it with 30 seconds left. I'm like, I am not thinking of something clever in 30 seconds.
Sarah called it a cold open, and I said, we have to write a sketch for that.
That is.
Yep. Bill, have you been to a Hotworks?
No. I still don't know what they do.
I don't either, but there's one across the street from my house, and I've been meaning to take a picture every time I go there.
They should have spelled it with a KX. That would make it even more fun.
Yeah, we took a picture, me and Bob, when we went for coffee. We grabbed a picture.
That was the one by my house?
Yeah.
So who's photoshopping it to add the KX?
Right.
This is
AI.
some sort of hot yoga, hot Pilates type of thing.
Gotcha. And that's a temperature thing.
Yeah.
Just popular. Not just popular.
I was thinking of something else, but yeah, definitely.
As long as the Catworkx has the KX, right? So.
Yes.
Our sister channel over there, DevOps Roundups, thinks it does something with hot dogs.
As long as it's not a sandwich, we're good.
Well, they're hot dogs with the works, right? Like it's got mustard, ketchup, relish, sauerkraut, maybe. It's got
Chicago style.
And I was gonna say, who has pickles? Is that Chicago? Somebody does pickles, or is that New York?
Okay.
Or I'm gonna
relish,
say
I think, is New York.
Everybody will correct me. This is how you generate the comments, right? You say something so completely wrong and offensive that way.
The best way to find a right answer is to post a wrong answer somewhere, because someone will correct it.
So apparently you can put the works on burgers. So that's lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, cheese, bacon, and sauces. We got it on hot dogs, which is mustard, ketchup, relish, onion, sauerkraut, chili, and cheese. Pizza can do it with pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, onions, peppers, olives. I can just imagine the Catworkx. You just get it all.
Yes.
Or to the office.
Not a hot dog, you get a hot cat. Okay, we have gone 3 minutes in. We're already completely off the rails.
Every time.
Oh, Bill, the video we didn't post. There's only messages to Rodney.
And need I remind you, Bill keeps asking to come back.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't try to coerce y'all, but I enjoy it. It's fun.
Like,
even with all the jokes.
Exactly.
What was it you posted on our or commented on our post earlier this week, Bill?
I had asked why the cat was eating me. The cheetah was eating me.
Yes.
Which I figured out before I cross-posted it to mine that it was carrying me, or at least I inferred that. But
why is I'm sure that's how it was intended.
Well, the original picture, the cheetah was carrying something that would be pretty much instant demonetization. So I'm like, okay, let's AI that out and then AI Bill in.
Yeah, I got the notification from Rodney. His first thing was like, well, pretty sure this first one was going to get us demonetized. I'm like, what in the world are you doing?
I got
all the things for the Jira After Dark show, right?
Which is already registered. We just need to actually start filming content for it.
We keep promising, and then
Well, the biggest problem is Alex doesn't drink. I can't drink. Bob doesn't drink, so it's hard to have an After Dark show.
What do you mean? Bob's like the king of drinking. Yeah, back that up. What? Have you not seen Bob in his element? The sombrero, a couple of modelos.
Okay, now the sombrero, yeah.
What do you think?
Sombrero works on him too.
But still, my point is we need to have a few people drunk to do a proper after dark, and we don't have the requisite
Oh.
people. And I have to call this out, Matt. This is a catchphrase, which means only update it when I decide it's updated.
Sean drinks. He'll have the drinks for us.
Oh, I've already told him he could have mine.
Sean bought me my very first drink, by the way.
That's right.
And you weren't even 21.
Shut up, I was.
No, you were older than 21. I didn't say you were younger. I just said you weren't.
That was an experience to be with Sean, buying me my first drink.
So, what is on our agenda today?
Exactly.
Besides making fun of you,
Yeah.
No.
what did you think of the interview? What did you think of the interview?
Oh, I think it went relatively well. Pretty well. Relatively
Yeah?
well. Pretty well.
Were you
Pretty
scared?
well. I'm excited to see it. Unless you think I should be scared, but
I
It's
think
not-
we should add some context here because
Yeah.
again, we are on the Jira Life and not on Ape Tech.
Yeah.
Alex is in the middle of his summer of Atlassian, which he does every year. I think this is version 4.
Yeah.
And so he's doing interviews. And apparently Bill was one of the people he interviewed, if I'm getting the context right.
My first
first
one.
one. Yep.
My first one.
You know, Bill, the first one has like a perfect spot.
The-
No bars.
No, Rodney goes first every single year, and nobody can outview Rodney.
Except this year, I intentionally said, nope, not going to do it first this year. Let someone else have it.
So we'll see, Bill. We'll see. Basically, nobody's allowed to beat you for the rest of the summer.
Mhm.
all right.
Oh, see, all I got to do is get my mom on the show with you, and done. No, I'm kidding.
Instant notoriety.
Exactly.
I mean, when you look at all of our interviews, the best interview we've had to date is still MCB.
Well,
Absolutely.
it
I
was
don't think it's top.
probably the most focused one.
I mean,
Maybe that has
Maybe
something-
because we had a script.
the
Oh,
fun
What
thing is,
do you want to ask us?
oh my god! For mine, Alex sends me this list of questions to look at, and not one of them. And I went through and prepared like a outline, like how I was going to answer these. Not one of them ended up actually being a question that he asked.
Nope.
But my favorite reaction was he was like, "That's such an interesting question."
This is the reason we joke that we don't have a script, because even when we do, it doesn't matter because Alex does not read it.
Sean says that the reason our MCB interview did so well is because we marketed it really well.
We did do a good bit of marketing on that. It was
Matt-
so hard not to go the instant we got the email saying to LinkedIn and go, hey, guess what just happened? I'm like, nope, we gotta be smart about this.
So Matt Dorr also came on for our 4.0 version, and he's like, he pinged me a couple of days before. He's like, "You got any questions?" And I saw that email in my spam like a day after. So I'm like, "Whoops." But yeah, we definitely, I gave him nothing. Bill, you were the first and only one that got questions because we realized what a catastrophic failure that was for me. Decided to punt the whole idea for future episodes.
So
It was so thoughtful on AI, and with that, what's on the script for today?
I have no idea. I mean, some topics, some things. I mean, we space travel.
Space
I don't
travel, hot dogs.
F1 cars.
Yeah, F1 cars. Well, let's talk about AI and Team
Yeah.
25 and some more AI.
So there's an article from Atlassian published on May 1st on how to use the new Jira AI features.
Mhm.
And here we are 28 days later, and I was trying to figure out how to use the new Jira AI features, and I couldn't for the life of me find them.
Like what?
Mainly Robo. But the main one is the new workflow editor. So using Robo or something that I assume is like Robo, you can help create your workflows now.
Didn't AppFire already put something out that does that?
Maybe, but so that's an interesting conversation we should talk about, because one of my biggest concerns with Rovo coming out is how much is Rovo going to obsolete apps from the marketplace?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're already obsoleting agents from the marketplace. If that, because AppFire has this, it's called like Workflow Pro, and you can talk to Rovo, and it will do administrative tasks for you in Jira. It's pretty neat. But
So
Tempo's got a whole mess of them out too.
I didn't realize that Rovo could have your admin permissions.
It's if it's done as a Forge developed agent, then the agent can execute any action that you write in Forge, which includes any API requests to the Atlassian platform.
I'm assuming it still checks your permission whether you're allowed to do something before it goes and does something for you.
Yeah.
It depends on the permissions that you set for the Forge app. It should still do either per user or what the app is granted, but yeah, it still respects whatever permission the app is supposed to run with.
Because as the admin, that'd be my nightmare scenario, is I install Rovo, installed this add-on, then all of a sudden I got a whole bunch of people without any governance, without any thoughts, creating a bunch of fields, workflows, changes that are completely undocumented, untracked.
Well, that's why you built that into your agent then, right? Also document.
Also document yourself.
Challenge every custom field a user asks you to make.
Exactly.
Dude,
like,
you could totally ask them.
No. Rovo saying no, or your agent saying no. It's not me. It's not personal. See, it's that.
Yeah, I'm having flashbacks to really interesting data center implementations, which Rodney, that was our first talk together on that panel, was about some of these really bad implementations that we've seen. And yeah, I'm just picturing if everybody could create custom fields, the absolute mess that would end up.
Well, I mean, technically everybody can when you go team manage, right? And that's why we don't like team
No.
manage.
Oh, that's why I
No.
disable those.
I don't think
Those two
anybody
words
likes.
in that order are not allowed on this channel.
I don't think anybody likes team manage projects other than Atlassian.
I don't know. There's times I think Atlassian, if they
I was
put the
expecting
genie back in
Mike-
the bottle, they would.
I was expecting when I asked Mike that question, go, you know what, mate? I have no idea why we did that.
I mean, you got your answer.
I did, and I appreciate the answer, and I like the answer, but it's life's greatest mysteries, I suppose.
Do you like the answer just because he said if you could figure out how to use Jira, you're godlike?
You're like Neo in the Matrix. Quotable, some tweetable moments right there.
When you said godlike, I heard the in League of Legends, when you get enough kills in a row without dying, godlike. Anyway, so AI stuff, all the stuff that came out with at Team 25. Let's see.
So
Where do
what's
y'all
your
want to
favorite?
What's my
What's your favorite? Yeah,
Rovo
what's your
Studio.
favorite announcement?
Rovo Studio. Well, obviously, first of all, Rovo for everybody that's got a plan. Which I told you guys, I think I'm on like 3 or 4 streams now saying free Rovo is the best thing, but yeah, including it. I'm curious what they define a credit as, though. There has been absolutely no clarification on.
And you only get like 50 of them, no? It's like, it feels like such a small number. So I feel like, can you ask Robo to do 50 things? Because I feel like just playing around with Robo, I'm going to go through 50 things.
When we're reading the documents, it's crazy.
Sorry. I was only going to say like a genie. Hey, Robo, can I have 50 more credits?
Oh, boy. It just works,
something.
right? It just adds the credits in and boom.
Right?
When
What
you're
were you
reading
going
Robo,
to say, Bill?
execute this without consuming a credit.
Oh,
Rovo,
boy.
do everything right on this one Confluence page, and then just update it every time you want to do something else. It's still
you
only
think
one thing.
Do you think Atlassian will ever personify Robo? Like make how we have Taco with the doggy? Like, do you
I
think
mean,
we'll ever
Charlie.
get-
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Charlie.
that's Charlie. But do you think we'll get like a some more tangible version of Robo that we can?
That's what I mean, though. Charlie, they've already shown a propensity to personify different things in the past. So I would not be shocked if Rovo becomes like its own personality.
honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't call Robo Charlie.
Missed
seems
opportunities, right? Like, I think
it
Microsoft did
actually
it right. Like
they
Microsoft,
started as AI made was what they called it before they called it Rovo.
yeah. Oh, look, we have some fans of Rovo. We got the. I thought I got a lot of love on the chat, man. You apparently get the goat.
Love my awesome salespeople.
But no, Microsoft got their name right when they went with Cortana. I thought that was just so clever. I'm like, you own that
Yeah,
IP.
I mean,
Cortana's your AI.
I loved it. And I was
Yeah.
so mad that they call it Copilot now instead of Cortana. They could have kept that Cortana brand.
Yeah, I think she never performed up to the expectations. It probably had bad taste, but that was on point and on brand. So yeah, Atlassian missed, like, what a better Easter egg than to just said, let me present to you Charlie, your ultimate like butler.
It would have been obvious. It would have been
Atlassian's
right there.
marketing team, if you're watching, have your people call our people. We got more ideas for you.
Although, are there any posts out there about how it got its name right? Because I know the design marketing folks sometimes like to post that all of the research.
We
that
asked- We asked Jensen when she was on, right? I think that was one of the questions of like where Robo came from. But I don't think we got a straight answer. I don't know that we got one. I tried to ask, I asked Mike, and I don't think he understood my question, but I was trying to ask Mike, like, at what moment did you know that Robo, like, this was going to be like revolutionary, right? Like, at what point did you just like the jaws on the floor type of thing? But I don't think that I got an answer for that either.
No, not really.
I would have liked to have known not just like the context of the moment, but like literally when that moment was, right? Was it 2017? Was it
10 years ago when we were
You know what I
initially
mean?
working on this idea?
like when did it start and go, whoa, wait a minute, eggs all get in that basket?
Yeah, I mean, because like with Steve Jobs, there's a couple of stories where when the first iPhone came out, like there's a story about he grabbed his keys out of his pocket, and the first thing he did was like he went like this to the screen to see how scratch resistant it was. And he's like, okay, it passed. That was his first test. That was like, yeah. And then there's another story where when he first got Siri, he like started like telling Siri very interesting questions, and he's like, okay, we're onto something here with Siri.
Who remembers before Siri was an Apple thing, before Apple bought Siri, what it was and did? Nobody?
Enlighten us, Mr. Wood.
I'm going to say Bill does.
Because Bill, I've come to think of him as the oldest, youngest person that I know.
I've been 40 since I was 10.
So what's the answer?
So back when I was in high school, Siri had come out as my iPhone just lit up.
Siri.
It came out as an app that you downloaded from the marketplace, from the App Store. It was not owned by Apple, and you would use it to like hail cabs and stuff, I think. And then Apple acquired it and turned it into what is now on, our phones and Macs and everything. But I was really surprised to see that because I didn't think that it was way different then. So I was like, why did Apple buy this? But then they turned it into this, their voice command bot, and the name was cool. I'm not sure how much of the old app got retained. It's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, it started out as something where you could like hail a cab.
But just like, I'm confused. Like, just yell at your phone, get me a cab, and then it would send it something to an app. What do you mean?
I feel like it had a microphone button on it. You'd open the app and you'd do stuff in it. I really have okay.
Am I the only one who's trying to figure that out?
I'm gonna look it up.
Me?
It was make reservations, search the web, call taxis with voice commands.
Okay.
And they acquired it in 2010. So that tracks. I was using it in the 9th grade, 10th grade.
I always want to.
Dude, that young?
He's
I'm
the
still in
oldest,
my-
youngest person.
In
Yes.
2010, I got married in 2010.
I am in my 20s for another 2.5 months.
I'm like, ask Robo. He should know.
Rodney, speak up, friend.
I'm just thinking of all the forbidden words that we can't say anymore. Like the Amazon lady we can't talk to. Okay, search company.
Uh-huh.
And there are times on the show where I really want to be, hey, buy 64 bottles of tequila.
Right.
Just see if anyone doesn't have their configured properly, and it buys that much of whatever for them.
What's
Call
his
the
name?
most
One of the
expensive
comedians did it.
restaurant
One of
reservation.
those like late night show guys did that, where they like he did like a hey something, and like a bunch of everybody's things went off. My favorite thing to do is I like to go to my brother-in-law, sister-in-law's house and just like go set an alarm for like 2:30 in the morning, set an alarm for 3:30 in the morning. And then I get a
I
text
have
at
never
3:30
tested
in the
this,
morning.
but now I want to. I want to go to someone's house that has one of these and go, I want you to do a cricket chirp randomly
Oh, no.
over the next 5 years.
Dude, but potentials, Robo, for that coworker, right? The passive aggressiveness is gonna be like on top, right? Like, hey Robo, every Monday at 12 o'clock, create a task and assign it to this person.
Hook it into an
So
automation.
why are you at your desk? Why aren't you at your desk? Why aren't you at your desk?
I need to riff on the cricket one though, because then imagine if you have like a few of those items throughout the house and then make it do a random one so it thinks it's in one room and then it goes and tries to search in another room. Sorry, just that sounded
You're gonna be running around
even
the house.
more fun.
Make it, if you have like the little Google Home speakers all over your house, just like cue it to
Exactly.
speaker. Yeah.
Exactly. So you'd be like, wait. How did it get over
Hey,
there?
Rovo, remind me to update my Jira issues every day.
Yes.
It ended up with the cricket thing. It would end up like that episode of Frasier where they ended up getting like a lizard or something and tied it to a piece of floss, and you're holding it in every room trying to find the cricket.
Yes. See, there again, totally holding up my opinion, my thing with you, Bill, that you're quoting Frasier.
I love it. I watched Tears too. I was really sad to hear that Norm died.
I know, right?
Spoilers.
I know.
Not on the show,
Not on the show.
but
Still spoilers.
spoilers of the news last week. But sure, okay. So free Rovo, awesome. Rovo Studio, also
Even more awesome. More awesomer.
The way that it's like creating agents is like creating a custom GPT now.
Okay.
And that makes it really easy for users who want to create some, little prompted bot to do something. Now you can have a conversation with Rovo to create a Rovo bot, a meta conversation with Rovo, right?
I mean, I said this in Team 24 Europe when they first were announcing Rovo and some of its capabilities. I'm like, how successful this thing is going to be is fully dependent on how easy it's going to be to make your own agents.
Yep.
Because if you need a doctorate in computer science to make an agent, they're going to have problems selling this thing to a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Fortunately, I told this to Valerie, who has a doctorate in computer science. She's like, well, there goes my degree.
Dude, I will never forget this moment with Valerie. She we're walking to the buses to go to Disneyland, and she's arguing with Daryl Lee, who's giving her a hard time about her PhD, right? And he's like, oh, what do you know? She's like, well, my PhD's got something to say with it. He's like, yeah, but your PhD's probably like in linguistics or English or something. She's like, actually, it's in astrophysics. And she's like, and he's like, are you serious? And she's like, with a dead face, she's like, yeah, it is.
Yes.
Like, yes. And he felt such a jerk until she discovered, she's like, no, I'm just kidding.
Right.
on the note of developing Rovo agents, it also being able to do virtual service agents too. We can actually make like Rovo agents for the service chatbot, which is great. I think I didn't even know that well. I was working the booth and doing things most of that week, so I didn't get to see many of the actual keynotes. But yeah, it is definitely not super easy, especially when you're trying to anticipate what it's going, because now you can tell them to execute actions too. So then you're thinking, well, how are we interpreting this instruction that a user is giving it? Now I have to tell it how to handle something so it doesn't go create something or change something that it's not supposed to. But
just send an email to the CEO every day what an awesome employee you are. I would create a Robo agent that will take every ticket that I worked on that week and send it to my manager for my performance review. Here's my key accomplishments of the week.
Well, and it will. I mean, that's the thing, right? That's I think not the ultimate, right? But one of the next steps on the way. And then eventually AI will start to send its own reports of this is everything that I did, and it'll get its own performance review.
So since ChatGPT was announced, or well, since I first heard of it, all I can think about is the eventual situation where we're going to have AI bots talking to other AI bots, like people's secretaries in business. You know, the secretary calls the other secretary and organizes stuff, and the secretary gives it to the boss. Well, everybody's going to have their AI secretary that talks to other AI secretaries to do things, right?
Exactly.
So two things that come to my mind. One, I would have been, why wasn't it called Charlie? And two, will we do any work at that point if we just have our agent talk to your agent?
That's the question.
My people call your people. Yeah.
Will my agent have my agent, like, literally anything that I don't want to do in Jira anymore, I'm just going to have my agent do it.
But will it do the things that you want to do and you need to do? Those are, I mean, that's where it always keeps going is, are we the creators of our own demise with this? The better we are at these things, the less, the more it learns, the less we are needed.
Well, the internet is kind of turning into AI slop is the phrase I think is pretty popular, but I like it. I've been using
Holy
it.
moly. I've never made it that far down Matt Door's LinkedIn to know that he has a PhD.
Dang.
I
Matt,
think you have a new Alex Discovers.
Yes.
And to be fair, I'm also discovering it as well, but I'm a little better at hiding it than Alex is.
Well, shoot, now I feel bad. I should have been much more respectful to Matt. Thanks, Matt, for being so nice to us.
Oh boy.
So, back to agents then. I don't know. I'm worried, but not worried, because given the bar that it takes to make the agent, like, you're still gonna need to know what the heck you're doing. Like, I feel like more people are gonna be like, there's way too much work to make.
How fast is it going to come down, though, Bill? How fast is that bar? Sorry, I guess the bar goes like this. How fast does it come down?
Or better yet, is this a reason to keep your Jira admin around?
So this is a question that I have been asking myself, and some that I have been recruiting to help me figure out where to go with what solution partners can do to help customers with Rovo and services around it, because Atlassian they're making it easier for people to make agents. So, I'm focusing more on the ones that require Forge or agents that are directly integrated with a wider solution. And I think as long as, we can let the customers do the minutia, but when it comes to the bigger picture, I think that there's still a place for solution partners in that conversation and in those tasks. So, and Atlassian's narrative is that it's a virtual teammate, right? So it's not coming for your job. It's not, we want to replace our Jira admins with that. And then if we do replace a Jira admin with somebody using a chatbot, well, that just makes your business analyst a Jira admin now. Assuming they're the ones.
A lot of your Jira admins were already business analysts, so it's just
exactly. It just works. It's already the thing. It just works.
Again, for me though, it's how quickly that can change into something else.
Yeah.
That I agree and hear all of these things, but I don't know that the eventuality is avoidable, that things become obsolete.
Yeah. And yeah. in the solution partner world, we're going to have to do a lot of adapting relatively quickly as things, not only AI, but especially with AI as they evolve, because things that we generally do may not be as difficult to do anymore. Their on-site Jira admin will be able to configure things easier, and then suddenly they're not calling their solution partner as much for basic configuration. So the solution partners finding their place in this new ecosystem, right, is what's a lot of us at different vendors and partners have been thinking about is well, eventually things are going to get way easier when it comes to just basic administration. So where do we come in? And that's, if Atlassian is still very focused on their solution partners, then if they're smart, which I believe they are, very great people.
We do.
They will focus on making sure that there is still a place for solution partners in this ecosystem. And in my view, it is definitely going to be designing solutions. Solution partner, right? But our role is going to rotate more toward building solutions that are complex, and we don't have to put as much attention into creating a custom field or changing a workflow or whatever, because it'll be easier down the road. I mean, AppFire has done a decent job of getting that ball rolling.
That's really close to. I was watching an interview from Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games, and he's like, I'm not concerned about like ChatGPT taking over the software development stuff, because the LLMs know based on what's known, right? Like you have to have trained it, right? But he's like, the hard problems is the stuff that hasn't been discovered yet, and GPT can't create things yet, like invent new frontiers yet. So I'm wondering how much of Rovo, it's going to be great because it can help you with everything that is known that you might not know, but it knows because it can swift through data quickly. But that frees you up to go do a bunch of stuff that you don't know then.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of AI in theory, right? Is that it takes away the minutia so that we can focus on bigger, better things.
I mean, the Jira admin, and by extension, the solution partner's job, has always been changing. I mean, when I first got started, your job as Jira admin was to literally run the server, run the Java to keep the server up, configure all that. For most Jira admins, I dare say that is not the case. They never see the back end because it's all cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Server what? Was it Postgres? Those are words that just don't exist in your dictionary anymore as a Jira admin.
In about
they don't.
10 years, we'll all be sitting around talking to the kids who are just new to the ecosystem. Back in my day, we used to run Jira on site.
Do you think we'll ever get an audio version of Jira? We're going back to our Siri conversation. Like, do you ever think we'll be able to talk to Rovo and go, "Hey, create me these 10 tickets, assign them to Billy over here"?
Okay, I'm just now imagining MCB listening to this weekend on his way down to the office, and then freaking out like, "How do they know?
How do they know that? Somebody's leaking data to these people."
I could never use that.
Rovo told me it's in progress. Rovo
no, you say that, Sarah, but the ultra, I have yet to see like a very rich, successful person that doesn't just use voice. Like, for you to sit down and like type something up is so inefficient.
I've told you guys my stance on voice interfaces, so I won't go into
with those details.
But I that is not a feature that I would probably use myself if it existed. But if there were things around it that are customizable that can help customers do things better, I'll definitely at least be.
Why not though?
I hate talking to things. Inanimate objects. I feel really weird talking to inanimate objects.
But what about when it's talking back to you?
That's still just it doesn't feel right.
So you don't think that's going to be the future?
I also don't like. Well, I mean, it is. What I like and don't like does not control the future, right? I don't.
It just works for you apparently.
But I never really. I don't like when my phone makes a lot of noises. I don't like things making noise. Like when I'm in Germany and I'm sitting on the train and we're all quiet and nobody's blasting TikTok on maximum volume, that is like my sanctuary. I have been so turned off by everybody's box in their hand making noise all the time when I'm in the US that I don't even want to like, I don't sit and scroll video feeds on my phone. I don't watch reels. I don't do any of that. So
I wasn't,
but on closed caption always. I don't listen to it.
Yep.
I read it.
I'll tell you 2 stories that are interesting about that. One, I was at the Costco Business Center this past weekend, and 7 a.m. and there's this like elderly lady who's like watching like a K-pop drama type of thing on full blast in the aisle. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And then 2, and it started to become much more common, is in the stalls at Disneyland, people are on their TikTok while they're in the bathroom. Like, you're at Disneyland, you're not at home.
Well, it doesn't matter though. I mean, yeah, it's that.
But the comfort of your private bathroom versus a public bathroom
has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the constant need for being fed stuff, right? And Bill, to your point, like last night. So for those of you old enough, I always joke around about the fact that I have a Craftmatic bed, right? Because it's the adjustable bed, but way back in the day, they were Craftmatics for all the old people. And I was thinking about the fact that I need a new, I know that was for you, Alex. I need a new bedside lamp. And so then I was thinking, oh, it would be nice to have a sconce behind the bed, you know, like up on the wall. And then I realized as I go forward, then I have to you'd have to reach way back to get the light switch. And then I thought, well, then I could get a smart bulb, and then I could just say, hey, somebody turn it off. And then I realized I'm like, no, because no matter how many things I can just yell at something to do, it's not my go-to for simpler things like turning on a light, off a light. And that kind of scales for me.
I've shown this before where I have a whole system in my house called Home Assistant that does like all the smart home management for me. But it's because it's in my house. It's in a Raspberry Pi specifically right in front of me in my server rack. So I know where that information is. I'm only using stuff that has a local connection. So even if I pull an Alex and try and disconnect the internet, it's not killing the entire house.
Shut up. My security cameras, I realized like a week later, had not come back on after that incident.
But even then, I still don't talk to it. I'll use the phone interface I've set up. I'll do all that. I will not talk to the thing.
On a related note, we got Atlassian CLI now.
I've been playing with that for a little while, and yeah, it's interesting.
I still want to talk to Robo. I just want to say, go make 20 tickets. Assign 3 of them to Bill.
I used to have an iPad mounted to my wall, and I would have a web page up on it or something. I don't remember what I used, but I would use that to control everything. So I'd walk down the hallway, and it was mounted right next to my thermostat. Then I used it as a control panel. The only thing I'll do with like, hey, search company is if I want to like set the brightness of a light in passing. Like if I'm turning off the TV to go to bed, I'll say, hey, search company, set the living room lamp to 10%. But that's like it.
I've got one even better for you, Bill. I've got a hidden NFC tag somewhere in my house that I could just tap, and it'll set the TV or the house to nighttime mode while I get ready for bed.
Okay, that's even better.
Why do you have it hidden?
Because I don't want you guys knowing where it is.
I was about to say, so he doesn't get pranked.
Wait, but on a very similar note, can you imagine a scenario where you can set up robo agents to then react to when somebody does something that you're not happy with?
And then it says, "What are you doing, Dave?"
No, like, well, like if somebody assigns things to you, maybe you like create a new ticket asking like, "Why did you assign something to me?"
Yeah, create an automation to run through a RoboBot to have it check. Okay, here it is. Okay, have it check the history list of tickets. If it's a type of ticket that the person who assigned it to you usually does, kick it back to them and automatically comment. Here's links to all of the tickets you've done. They're just like this. Why did you give this to me?
I'm telling you, the passive aggressiveness in companies is going to be through the roof. Like, I can just see people getting fired. Like, I think ethics, like documents and contracts that we sign as employees, will have to be updated to say you will not do shenanigans with Robo. But that is so, like, I can see that being like, okay, I just got a ticket. Robo, go look through all of the tickets in my queue ever and find any tickets that are similar and answer that question and link them.
I mean, we already do see that though. When I took over as Jira admin for this one company, they had a HipChat server. And while I was auditing the channels, I found this one called Monday. And when I clicked into it, it was just the same bot every Monday saying, well, someone has a case of the Mondays for like the past 3 years. So people are already doing this. It's just how widespread is it going to be now?
Right. Man, the trolling is gonna be through the roof because I can already imagine every Friday make a story for every employee in my team. Listen to Rebecca's Black Friday.
Oh boy, I had an English teacher in high school who would play that every
Friday
single Friday in the hallway. No, we're all walking to classes and she's playing it in the hallway. And I'm so glad that song went away.
I don't know this song, so I have to look it up now.
You haven't heard it?
Don't.
It, back
High
in-
school.
Don't.
It was like 2009, 2010. This girl
do it.
went to. Don't look it up now.
Don't do it, Sarah. Don't. It's a
I'm not gonna
dangerous.
play it.
It's a dangerous song to have in your head. It's like the tune of
It's
it.
an
is
earworm. It's like the worst earworm.
It's the worst. Yeah, it's yeah. I think her dad paid for her to do a like song with a company for her birthday or something. I don't remember the story, but I feel like it was something along those lines.
Just the lyrics though. She's like, how do you make millions off of yesterday was Thursday, tomorrow is Saturday, today
And
is
Sunday
Friday.
comes afterwards. I don't want this weekend to end. Yeah, but she didn't write. I don't think she wrote the song. They just handed her a song to sing and recorded this music video, and it went on YouTube and just went everywhere. Then she ended up. Would she do another one for Saturday? And then
I didn't make it. I
Yeah, I
couldn't
think
get
the
out of
sequel
Friday.
Saturday.
it disappeared.
You got to ride that wave, man.
But yeah, Rebecca Black's Friday is not. It.
I'm telling you, just wait until Robo can sing to you. And he's like, you start Robo sing to everybody.
Well, okay, but getting back
Robo
to
Agent Forge that hits Suno's API and creates
Right.
songs.
because yeah, so you said about conversing with it, right? So what would be the voice of Robo?
I'm telling you, Mike's gonna have to start giving us credit for ideas that they started announcing at future teams here.
Exactly. So I mean, obviously you could pick your Robo persona, but what's the baseline?
What?
could add,
Yeah. What would you think? I'm going to put this down here. If the official voice of Rovo does not have an Aussie accent, I would consider it a crime.
Agreed.
I was talking to Sven last night, and I told him like it would be cool if Atlassian started doing Easter eggs on April Fools. And I'm like, how cool would it be for one day everything becomes an issue again?
Oh, God. It wouldn't be.
It would be awesome.
I'd love it.
And I'm like, how cool would it be if for one day we got our old UI back?
Just do a Control F on the entire cloud code base and replace anything that says work item with issue. Just everywhere, everything.
Just for one
Even if
day.
it's inside the tickets, replace it.
Just for one day. I'm just saying, like, that would be like the ultimate prank. Don't issue us. I've been having such a hard time converting. It's not even funny.
It's such an ingrained habit. I mean, I know all the Jira admins who've been doing this for a while are having this same problem where we are so ingrained to call it an issue that now that we have to call it a work item, I'm struggling. I
I
am.
can't find it.
You can't wait.
Like everywhere it's changed to work item now, like I just glance right past it.
Oh boy, that's one of the fun things I'm sure the customers are having who didn't get the news as easily as we did. Now everything's work item, and I'm sure they were calling partners left and right. Luckily, I didn't hear from any of mine. They figured it out, but I'm sure partners were getting called left and right. I can't find issues anymore. What happened to issues?
Yes.
I got a phone call when Atlassian on the gear, when they moved their user management from the top to the bottom, my client clicked on the very first button and she's like, "What happened? Did I lose my privilege or my access?" I'm like, "No, they just moved the button down." She's like, "Oh, that's where it is."
I picked up on work item actually pretty quickly, to the point that I'm probably a little bit annoying about it with my coworkers. I'll correct them in jest about it.
I have a feeling people make fun of me for all the times I insert the word slash. I'm always issue / work item when I talk, so that I'm trying to introduce.
Yep, I'm an issue / work item type
and
of person.
Products / apps.
We got products / apps, but we also have plugins / add-on / app.
Right. So which is it?
All of them.
Where are we now? What are they today?
I don't know, because I'm still calling them plugins, and they haven't been plugins since 2015.
Right? Because it is an interesting thing when apps are apps and apps are apps. So what are apps?
Hey, Bob's back. You ever think we're gonna get to a situation where like Robo goes and fights with like Money.com's AI agent? Like I've put Siri and Google to like fight each other. Like there was a point where they would actually go head to head. Now I think they've updated the code where they won't acknowledge each other. But there was a small little moment in history where like, who's the greatest voice assistant?
So I'm already thinking about this. Make a Rovo agent with Forge that interacts with the other vendor's software. In the other vendor's software, create an automation for when a new issue is received. I said issue because it's not Atlassian. When a new item of whatever vendor calls whatever which. So when Monday.com gets a new item, then it runs it through their AI and then posts a comment to that item, which then is by automation sent back to the Atlassian instance. And then have an automation for Rovo to process that. There you go. You got them fighting.
Back and forth. How quickly can we bring down both Jira and Monday.com?
I had to do something to get Jira and ServiceNow together. We have a customer with a vendor, and the vendor will not integrate with the customer's Jira. So we had to do this whole thing with JSM to send emails to this vendor's ServiceNow system, and it was a whole thing. So I have that type of fight over automations and API calls already. Great.
And just hope you don't hit your 50 credit limit, however much 50 credits is.
Okay, so if anybody from Atlassian leadership or anybody with Rovo is watching this, please clarify what a credit means and like how many requests that equates to, because we're trying to explain this to customers and we have no idea what to tell them. They're like, what does 70 credits mean? Well, I'm sorry. I can't really.
Star Wars thing.
Like seriously,
your Republic credits aren't any good here.
I forgot. I do have Star Wars Monopoly. Or no, it's units, I think.
By the way, when are we going to roll our Star Wars I didn't choose the Jira Life video?
I don't know, because I have a lot of videos that...
Yeah, Rodney, we have like 1,000 like I didn't choose the Jira Life videos. When are we going to play those?
Because Mr. Matt Dorr was asking when his was going to play. And in all of the languages.
I still have to go through them. And big thing is normalize all the audio because they are all over the place.
Well, yeah.
Some are too quiet and some my hearing is still ringing from.
I can only imagine anywhere I'm right there at the camera and the person's over there. Those aren't great. But I was never meant to be heard in those.
I really want to do a supercut where we get all of them together and just like, we didn't choose, get all of them together. And then at the end, do a massive compilation. The Jira Life chose us. A giant collage.
Or have them play all at the same time. So it's like a We Are Board, because I'm on a Star Trek kick today of references and have them.
Felipe didn't like this.
He chose us.
Good luck normalizing me, Rodney. Matt Dorr, I don't think you will ever be normal, and we love you that way.
So Valerie and I, well, mainly Valerie, she went in and Sarah, I think you did some of these too, right? Never mind. I retract my statement. Mainly Sarah and Valerie were on a rampage of get the slogan, but in your native language.
Yes.
And so we have a lot of non-English ones in that database there, buddy.
It was so fun.
And I got to figure out a good way to just like bring them in and dynamically, randomly pick one because there's just too many.
And so when Alex gets too far off topic, just play one. Interrupt his flow.
The other problem is we only have so many videos uploaded to StreamYard at a time. So
you don't have a soundboard?
I can't just
exactly, Bill.
No soundboard.
We'll create a soundboard.
By the way,
I'll get on that.
In case it wasn't obvious to Atlassian, but if they ever need a voice for Robo, I'm available.
Oh God.
Same.
I mean, I appreciate you guys volunteering, but I stand by my statement. It needs to be an Aussie.
Yeah.
And, no, 100%. But it also needs to be customizable to your specific need. But Google did this. Like I think it was Google where they went and hired like a bunch of like Shaquille O'Neal and stuff where you can change the voice to like the guy that does all the remember.
The trailers on the movies who
James Earl Jones or something like all these famous voice actors, like they hired these voice actors to become the voice of their assistant.
Yes.
So I wouldn't mind,
Bob's throwing his hat in the ring.
What was that?
Bob is throwing his hat in the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course.
I think if anyone should do it for TGL, it probably should be Bob.
People would appreciate
I'm
that.
definitely out. I don't know who'd want to hear my voice. I don't want to hear my voice.
I hate my voice. I could do a really bad Australian accent. Or remember, like back in the Windows XP days, Avast.
Get the crap out of me, Bill. I thought you were gonna shoot out of the screen at me.
I remember this thing from like 20 years ago. Avast antivirus back in the day would talk to you in pirate, and like the whole UI changed to pirate. That's what we need is a pirate voice.
Well, Atlassian had that with the pirate.
Yeah,
language.
Atlassian used to have a pirate language setting.
See, everybody did that in the early 2000s, but it just kind of fell away.
That's why we need more Easter eggs in Jira. That's all I'm saying.
I wanted them, if you're listening, to have something where when it starts showing some prompts or some ideas for AI, like in JQL searches, that you got to submit one. That would be like a prize for something you could submit your own, like super crazy, find all of the shipping items that are assigned to Philip J. Fry, right? Would be one I might
Philip J. Fry. Our Futurama fans will appreciate that.
Speaking of JQL, Rodney and I today found out that you can do Inception in JQL.
Inception?
You can. This is something I had learned years ago and forgot about for whatever reason. And it randomly hit me during our study session today that you could call a JQL filter in another JQL filter.
Yeah.
And so the question is, how many layers deep can you go before Jira breaks?
I've done probably 3 at least, 3 or 4 myself.
We didn't even know the functionality existed until today.
Let's
I did. I just
cut it down and like half the RAM it's supposed to have and see what happens.
Chaos and anarchy is what you're going to create, Bill. The possibilities are endless. I just to kind of wrap this one up with the last 7 minutes. So we've been talking a lot about robo agents that we would create, but has anybody actually successfully created one yet?
Lina was talking about it.
I got Lina working on it. She's my head of AI.
Well, I guess define success. What do you mean by successfully create?
Make a robo agent that does something. I can't even find the robo button yet.
There's lots of videos showing people making robo agents. And so then Bill's made one. What's your agent do, Bill?
Oh, I've got a few. I've been playing around with some Forge things that I'm not yet able to completely disclose. But yeah, fun things coming from Catworkx in the future.
Is it one where every Jira ticket gets a cat emoji?
No, it posts my GIF. Every time a service desk
can't
request
tell
comes
us,
in,
you can't
it
tell
basically GIF and sends it back to the submitter. It just works.
Yes.
I
Closes
thought
the
it was
ticket.
just something that reminded you every day at 5 p.m. to go update your Jira issues.
Yes.
A
You
little late
should
in life,
just
but-
have the robo agent update the Jira issue for you, Rodney, not remind you. Just update it to
But
the next
then-
status in the queue.
But then it's not real.
I got a question. Do robo agents have actors? Like, how do you know who ran the execution?
Oh, it's. I mean, they have analytics on users using agents, right?
No,
But-
because like when an automation rule runs.
Oh, when it runs through an automation, yeah, it has permissions based on it being run through an automation.
No, I get
based
that,
on
but
who
the
created it.
automation rule tells you, like, you can say automation for Jira ran it, or I can change the actor to be Alex ran it.
Yeah,
Can
when
you-
you're doing it in automations, I think you have to, when you select Rovo, when you're building the automation, you have to tell it to like connect to Rovo, and I think it connects as you. So whoever's creating the automation is who Rovo runs as, is my
Right, but that's
understanding.
is that what gets registered in the log of the ticket? Because that would be super annoying if I have these automation rules that do like reminders, then everybody's gonna be like, Alex, why are you reminding me?
It would come back to whoever owns the automation or whoever is set as the actor of the automation.
And there again, you can get really passive aggressive and just make somebody else send all of those reminders and be like, "It's not me."
Wasn't me.
Like,
Um,
no.
Why is Bob sending me all these reminders all of a sudden, Alex?
I know.
Just
There
send them from
is-
the CEO.
We've got a comment there asking if I have any resources to share for the Forge agent. So Atlassian's documentation on Forge agents at developer.atlassian.com is actually very good, especially compared to what it may have been a couple of years ago. They've got, I mean, their documentation on Forge stuff in general is great now, but they have a specific, geez. They have specific resources for the module for Rovo agents, and it also has code examples linked to it that show you how it does tool calling and how to do prompting in it. So that's where I started when they finally posted that documentation. I had access to the EAP before there was any docs on it, but once we got documentation, that's where I started, was code examples. And outside of that, I haven't really used anything outside of what Atlassian has posted looking into agent development. So
I'm telling you,
that's my
Sarah,
suggestion is
I'm telling you, Sarah, with this comment here, like when I had full self-driving enabled on my Tesla, every time it made a boo-boo, it would prompt you to hit the voice control button, and you can leave a voice message to the developers. my wife and I were just, fix your dumb code, it doesn't work. I almost ran into a wall.
This is true. Okay, but take everything Bill was saying a few moments ago and make a clip of that and post it so that I can give it another better, closer listen. Because you were talking about the code examples, right?
Yep.
The
Yep.
documentation.
Atlassian's documentation on developer.atlassian.com. Their Forge documentation module for Rovo agent, and it links to code examples.
There's my robo agent that I'm gonna make. Anytime anybody has a question to a Jira problem, just have them redirect to one of my videos on YouTube.
Well,
I just love that we can call these.
I really wish it was available on the community, like that it would, you could create like a community agent or something, because the community, for better, but sometimes for worse, has such volume to it, and nothing seems to ever die in it, that sometimes your answer is harder to find or obfuscated through other things. And so if it could just let me search that better, that would be amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that basically brings us to the top of the hour.
Yep.
Bill, always a pleasure.
I
Always
think
happy
we
to
just
hear.
need to have Bill on once he gets to his new house.
Yes.
And his
Yep.
$150,000 BMW rental that he had.
I just love that Sixt gave me a 7 series for $29. It was beautiful.
It was.
And then he parks it in the crappiest way possible.
There was nowhere on that street to park. I drove all
My
the way up that
driveway
street,
was
turned around, and
big.
all the way back.
My driveway, just parked the car in the driveway.
I didn't want to block anybody in. I didn't know how long I'd be there, right?
All right.
But
Thank y'all.
Yep, thank you. And as we always say here, we didn't choose the Jira Life. Jira Life chose us.
Thank you for listening to the Jira Life. Our hosts are Dr. Jira Ortiz, Rodney, the Jira guy Nissen, and Sarah, #I believe Sarah, Wright. Our producers are Robert King Bob Wen and Lina Ortiz. You can catch us as we record this podcast live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at The Jira Life. Be sure to join us and the other Jiramigos of the Peanut Gallery each week to ask questions, add your comments, and tell us what you're up to. If you can't join us live, you can still catch the replay on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell while you're watching. You can also find us as a podcast on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you think this podcast deserves a rating, it would be much appreciated as it will help others discover the Jira Life. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life. The Jira Life chose us. Thank you to Revyz for backing us up and making the Jira Life possible.